Welcome back, viewer, to Chungu cha Jamii. Today we are talking about social media addiction. Are you in trouble of being addicted to your phone screen, to your screen at large? What is it that you're doing, or what implementation are you using to be able to stay away from this social media addiction? Send in your question, your comments across all our social media networks. That's GBS TV Africa, or SMS line is 21144. So before we went on a break, I'd ask a question on how we can help our young people moving forward from the Generation Z. But before we get to that, right now, social media, as we are talking about it, like Ayub mentioned before, it has the positive side and the negative side as well. The positive, people are working online. Going back a few years ago when COVID came, it changed everyone from analog to digital. Office working from home. If it is also farming, there's something we're calling smart farming. You don't have to get your hands dirty and muddy and all that. That is the positive side of it that we also should embrace. Now we're also even having churches online, right? Because now we're watching from our own comforts. If it is raining, I may sitaki kunyeshewa, so I'd rather watch it online. Because during that COVID and being confined in the house, we were doing everything online. Now, that one, I think that is where we all got glued to our gadgets, because that is the only way. In as much as we had a lot of fights, if you're busy with your phone, you're busy with your phone, I'm busy with my own gadgets, we can barely have fights and interactions. But when all these are over, when you've not paid for the Wi-Fi, when there is no electricity, that is when you start realizing if it is the man in the house, this house is very dirty. These children are making a lot of noise. Now, with all this, where do we now start drawing the line of knowing for the positive we can embrace, for the negative, these are the way outs? Where do we draw that line, Mr. Ayub?
I think it's quite a complicated situation. Because one, we are not responsible for the technology. Other people are responsible for that technology. And even as we are having this conversation today, we are at a level where now we are talking about Internet of Things. Now, the Internet of Things is basically where things around you are controlled by the Internet. You will be wherever you are, and you tell whoever is in your house city to switch on the lights for you. And when you get home, the lights are on. You know, you are seated watching your TV, and you can talk to the TV, okay? And the TV will respond according to what you have instructed it to do. So as you can see, the fusion between our lives and that of the Internet becomes much more tighter. You know, we become tied to the Internet much more closely. So that is the direction. You watch the gadget watches you. Okay? You watch the videos keep on reporting what you like watching. Okay? You like reading, that is what will be brought to you. Now, what do we do to ensure that it does not take control over us? I think the first level would be the level of awareness. You know, am I spending more time than I should on my gadget? Because once now you are aware that you are spending more time, the possibility of you changing is also very high. But remember, even as you do that, there are guys down there who are working overnight, to ensure that you do not leave that device. Okay? Today, if you watch your devices keenly, you realize that the algorithms are more driven towards short videos. Okay? You know, you are on Facebook, and Facebook will not want you to read what your friends posted, but it wants you to go to videos directly so that you can watch videos and watch. Then you go to Instagram, the same thing. You go to TikTok, which is the leader in short videos. It is the same thing. So, and once now they know that we are becoming aware that, and we want to run away from them, they devise a mechanism to keep us glued. Is it all lost? No, it's not, because the level of awareness, and that is the first beginning point for me, is quite important, because that is what will lead us to say, hey, we are not talking. Whenever we come to the dinner table, we don't talk. Guys, can we switch over our phones for 1 hour and have a conversation? Okay? Of course, the teenagers will protest and say, now, this is not okay. But again, the internet is not going anywhere. You know, if you switch it off for 1 hour, whatever you are watching, you come and continue watching it. Yeah? So that level of awareness is very, very important for us. The realization also that there are some good things that we can derive out of the internet will also help us to interact with it positively. Okay, not all people are on the internet for bad things. There are people who are making their money today by doing good business on the internet. You know, the things that they post, the interactions that they do, the engagement. As a communication professional, one of the things that we talk in communication is that we want to reach out to the customers. But it is no longer about reaching the customer. It is also about engaging that customer. You know, we need to keep knowing what is it that these customers need. And the only way that we are going to know what they need is, again, by looking at what is happening on the internet.
To add on that, now that you've mentioned all this about, we're also having content creators.
Yes.
We are also having people making money out of all this social media platform. Because if I'm an influencer and you want to advertise your product, you'll come to me to advertise the same product. Now, my question would be, as parents, I'd want to take your view on the same, but we start with Mr. Ayub. As parents, as leaders in our society, in different platforms and angles, when you're talking to this young boy or young girl who comes to you and tells you, I want to be a content creator, at a young age, maybe 5, because he's talented maybe in drawing, talented maybe in singing, talented in telling jokes or something, because you're having also parents who are using their kids to make content and to earn money. So it's me as a parent who is also exposing my child on the internet, because I'll be there recording my child and telling my child do A, B, C, D, do, because I know by the end of that I'll get followers, I'll get more money from that. If I am the parent and I'm doing that to my child, is it injustice to the child, who I will later on start bashing and telling him or her to stay away from the internet, yet I'm the one who is introducing the same? And for away from me introducing the young one, you're having the preteens, teens, and those going on. What if this preteen comes to you as a parent and tells you, Dad, you are doing things with the internet. See, I want also to be an influencer. So you guide me on how to do it. How would you advise me as a parent when my child now comes to me with such a thing? Because again, we are calling ourselves the modern parents in the digital era.
Yes. I was listening to a story of another young man, a very bright boy by all standards. And he went to the university and acquired a degree in actuarial science. You know, actuaries are probably the best, you know, they are the best students. They are the brightest of students when it comes to academy. And what this young man did was that after leaving college, he was employed in a bank. But his heart could tell him that he's not into banking. You know, in as much as he's earning his good money, he actually went into content creation. And today, as we talk, he's made so much money out of content creation. Whatever he studied at the university doesn't count anymore. But of course, you cannot go to the university and learn, and then that knowledge fail to serve you. So if a young man came to me today and told me that, Dad, I want to be a content creator, I would first ask them to complete whatever they are doing. Okay, if you are in college, if you are in the university, can you first finish whatever you are doing? So that even if you go to content creation and content creation doesn't work for you, you can always fall back to whatever you studied. That way, it will not be lost. Yeah? But I wouldn't dismiss them. Because again, when you look at the numbers of the kind of earnings, the people who earn the most out of content creation are actually children who create children-related programs. Of course, they are not the ones who are responsible for conceptualizing the idea. Their parents are behind those ideas, and they earn millions of dollars out of that content. So one, as a parent, you can hold the hand of your child who wants to become a content creator. Two, you can encourage them to pursue what they are doing until a time when you feel that they are now people who are capable to make their own decisions and they can take their own path. Yeah.
Coming to you, Mr. Robert, what is your take on the same? If I'm coming to you as a parent with my child and I want the guidance and the leadings of going on forward with the same.
Actually, in this generation, we cannot live without the internet. The internet is, can I use the word career, also part of the career in life, in people's life. They earn from the internet. But there was one person who really wanted to quit playing gambling. And as he wanted to quit gambling, he tried his best because every cent that belonged to the family, he just spent in gambling. So this person did, he decided, this time I'll not gamble. But this decision, he made it many times, but he still continued gambling. What he did lastly, with a paper cutter, he cut his fingers. And he was a bit happy, both of his hands, he was a bit happy having hurt his fingers, and that he cannot gamble again with cards. But after a while, the wife was surprised. The wife couldn't find the husband home. He looked for the husband 1-2 days, but the wife was surprised meeting the husband still in the bar gambling. How was he gambling without fingers? He was gambling using the tools. Internet addiction, whether positively or negatively, it isn't about what we decide to do or what we don't decide to do. It's about our heart. And then how can we receive this change of heart in our life so that internet can positively change our lives? As I mentioned, Ecclesiastes chapter 9 verse 3, man is full of madness. So anytime I should know I'm the person who can fall into this addiction. But how can I receive this new heart? The only way I can receive this new heart is only through Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ who died for me and he gave me a new heart. What is this new heart Jesus gave me? is the heart that in Romans chapter 8 verse 37 says we are more than conquerors. So with this new heart that Jesus gave me, he conquered sin in my life. He also conquered failure in my life. So with this mind, I can have the mind, I'm not a sinner. I can have the mind, I have already conquered. Why do people fall into addiction? Because in their heart, they have a negative heart. I'm a failure. Outwardly, they see me as a failure and they believe they are failure. They are fallen into addiction. But they can overcome by receiving the new heart from Jesus Christ that I'm out of sin and also I'm a victor. Romans 8:37. So with this new mind, they can step forward delivering also goals in their life, and they'll see how God will help them. So for the few people I know who have received this new mind of Jesus Christ, such people have become global leaders. I'm using the term global leaders. They are in one of the best choirs in the world, and they are living a very beautiful life after receiving the new mind of Jesus Christ, that they are righteous and holy, not by themselves, but what Jesus did on the cross. So this is the true change we can receive. Receiving new mind, only new mind.
Thank you so much. I'm being told that you're running out of time. But before we wind up, as the two of you gave your parting shot, in the philosophy of addiction, there is a time I was interacting with a counselor who deals with people who are addicted in alcohol, in different addictions. He said you can go through the process of coming out of addiction, but if you fail in the last step, you're sure to go back to zero. I'd want to hear your comment on that, maybe briefly as you give your parting shot. Starting with you, Mr. Ayub. The final step is for you to overcome and to be called, I'm forgetting the name, but for you now to be free from this addiction, you have to help someone out of addiction. So if I'm an alcohol person, for me to be freely liberated and to say now I do not drink again, for me never to slip back, I have to hold someone else's hand and help them to come out of the same addiction that I was in. So now that we're talking about social media addiction, and one of the person who was addicted to it, and I want to overcome it like completely. For me to be a master in that, I have to help someone else to come out of it. What is your take? Do you think that is the final step when it comes to the different addictions? For you to be liberated, you have to help someone else to be also liberated like you are?
I think, you see, the difference here is there is a social addiction that involves people as a group. Internet addiction is basically a personal, single individual kind of a thing, where now you realize that I have been spending a lot of time on my phone, watching content that I think I shouldn't be watching. So that awareness is the first beginning point towards conquering addiction. Number two is through this kind of a conversation where people now sit down and talk about their behaviors. You know, what have you done? Are you the kind of a person who will wake up at 2 a.m. to just go through your phone to see which videos have been uploaded on TikTok? Okay? I don't know why you are laughing. Yeah?
I'm looking at the insomnia person. When sleep is not your friend,
Yes.
the phone is your friend.
Yes. Are you the kind of a person who will wake up at 2 a.m. just to see what other people are uploading? So when we have these conversations, and you can tell people, hey, guys, every time I try to sleep and I wake up, I go to my phone and we'll, go through it until it is 6 a.m. in the morning.
But if we're in such a social gathering like we are here, and I tell you that, you'll be like, you're not using your mind.
No, you see, in a discussion, we open up because we want to heal. Okay, so we will say, I wake up at 2 a.m., go through my phone until now it is 6 a.m. I have to go to work, I need to, and I am tired, all these things. So when we have now that conversation, people who are also affected will get to realize, hey, by the way, that sounds like me. And they will want to change. So it is good, therefore, to actually encourage this kind of conversations in church settings, in school settings. I know most schools live in denial because they think that the rules which they wrote on the wall and they gave to the students are to be adhered to. But there is something more complex that happens beyond the rules, which requires the minds and hearts of the people to be able to work. So if we have these conversations, then we can be able to address that internet addiction.
Thank you so much. To you, Mr. Roberts. In less than a minute, as you also give your parting shot because you're out of time.
Yes, actually, awareness is very key. I totally agree. You cannot be free from something you don't know that you are into it. So you cannot be free from sin when you don't know you cannot overcome sin by yourself. So in this case, how can we help our people? I totally agree with Mr. Ayub, actually, through awareness, through such shows, through such talks, then also people can be able to learn and to come out of them. And according to the question that you asked, actually, when I've come out of something, it will be very easy also in my heart, not doing just because I want to, but it will be in my heart also to bring other people out of it. So I totally agree. You are also able to bring people out of it. And when we work together and stay together, then such things we can work in a positive way. We can use internet in a positive way. Thank you.
Thank you so much, gentlemen, for honoring our invite and for coming to share your insights on social media addiction. I know that we have a lot to talk about, but now that you are out of time, I will sure invite you again to continue with the same. Viewer, I hope you've learned as much as I have. I hope we can continue this conversation online. Send in your questions, send your comments. Let's interact across all our social media networks. That's GBS TV Africa. Our SMS line is 21144. Till next time, have a nice day. Goodbye.